Many thanks, Piers. Thank you very much. Now, let's return to our top story now on Nigeria's economic crisis. Ifeanyi Ukoha is a former banker with the Central Bank of Nigeria. He joins us live from Abuja. Ifeanyi, how worrying is the Nigerian economic situation as it stands today?
Well, Peter, it's a mix of hope and some worry. The hope comes from the fact that it seems that the non-oil sector seems to have bottomed out. It's at zero to growing, but the oil problem, the crude oil problem is there, so we need to address it and get back productions up.
Well, just under a month ago, Nigeria's finance minister said they would spend their way out of this recession, sort of what the West did during the financial crisis of 2008. Why haven't we seen a change?
Because probably they're still spending on the same things, spending on salaries and things like that. That won't bring us out of the recession. I think that the government should focus a lot more on the ease of doing business in Nigeria. I see that the government is talking a lot about infrastructure development. So we need to move to making it easier, reducing the people at the ports and things like that.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the ease of doing business in Nigeria, because earlier this year I mentioned that to President Buhari and said when the government puts a cap on how much the dollar can exchange for in Nigeria, then that causes an even bigger problem.
Yeah, and that problem seems to be worsening now with the state security services trying to enforce a rate for the dollar. So we don't know whether we're in a fixed rate or a floating rate. There's a lot of interference by government.
And just last week, we saw that the government was now arresting people who were selling foreign currency on the black market, or the parallel market, so to speak. And because of that, the dollar has become even more scarce in Nigeria. Is the government essentially shooting itself in the foot?
Oh, precisely. They're shooting themselves in the foot. Apart from the BDC operators, they also sanctioned one of the banks in Nigeria for making a forex transaction without consulting the central bank. So you find that all these things show an attempt to control the market.
Do you think, Ifeanyi, then, that the government has a grasp of how grave this problem is?
I think that they're still playing a lot of politics in the situation. And politics is always more fundamental to economics, because you have to get the politics right, the economy grows on it. There's a lot of squabble between National Assembly and the presidency, even on the borrowing, and all these are causing problems for the economy.
All right, Ifeanyi Ukoha, thank you very much for speaking to us there on the line from Abuja.